And now it's recording.
I just got out of
I'll
it.
edit it later, so that's fine. Okay. So, we're in Sioux Falls today with Indivisible 605, talking to a couple of people who wanted to come out and express themselves. Why are you here?
I'm just very frustrated with Congress. I feel like they are not listening to their constituents, and they are so out of touch with what's really going on in the state of South Dakota. I spent 8 months going across the state last year talking to all sorts of people, and I will tell you, they are out of touch. Right now, I'm very concerned about the cuts to Medicaid. We've got a lot of poor people, children, people in nursing homes that depend on it. And what people forget is that taxpayers subsidize Congress's health insurance. We should be able to pay for the poor people too. Congress can pay for themselves. If you want to make cuts, let's cut some of the wasteful stuff like Trump's golf trips and the military parades and, the congressional staff budgets. They can cut back too. So I'm just tired of all the cuts coming in the hands of the working poor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And but we got some good news, right, with the ruling against the tariffs.
Right.
That was.
But that's been reversed. Right.
Oh, was it reversed?
Well, one court did. However, what people don't realize is that it's Congress's job to handle the tariffs.
Yeah.
It is not the president's job. So he's out of his league, and Congress is not pushing back.
Right.
They need to stand up and get brave, and if they want tariffs, they need to stand up and do it. They're a bunch of cowards.
Yeah, they do nothing. That is absolutely true. Circle. Yeah, it should be going now.
Okay.
All right.
Honestly, my heart just breaks for my country. That our democracy seems to be crumbling in such rapid fashion. And this $45 million parade of Trump's, how many kids could that be?
Yeah.
It's just all about them. And Bill and Rounds are just bent on pleasing Russia too. That's their own purpose.
Yeah.
Is to do what he wants them to do. And it's just disgusting. So I'm very angry and I'm very sad.
Yeah. I'm afraid there could be an accident with the military parade. They might not know what they're doing, and they could have a nasty crash, especially with a helicopter or something.
The DC mayor says they're going to have to repair all the streets.
Yeah.
After all the
Which is
tanks
more
and
wasteful
everything.
spending.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So anyway, that's why we're here, and we'll be back again.
All right, great. All right. So, all this lovely chanting going on. What would you like to say about what's on your mind today?
Well, a lot of what's on my mind is a lot of stuff that is in this bill that really has nothing to do with budget.
That's true.
It has to do with judges. It has to do with holding Trump accountable and those kinds of things. That if those pass, it sort of gives him and his minions a free pass out to do whatever they darn well please.
Yeah, I did hear about that. It would kind of strip away the court's ability to issue a contempt ruling on the executive branch. Yeah, I don't agree with that. And I also thought historically that laws actually come from the Senate and not the House.
Yeah.
I thought the House did the budget and the Senate does the rules, but this time they put the rules in the House budget, so, but.
You take a bill that big and it sort of goes under that whole baffle them with bullshit.
Yeah.
Put enough of it in there, they won't notice the real stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, man. Thanks. Yeah. All right, sir. And what brings you out here today?
To fight the good fight. I couldn't forgive myself 20 years looking back at all this chaos and not doing anything about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, have you heard about the 287G program?
I have, but tell me about it anyway.
So this is a program where ICE agents want to come in and train local law enforcement, specifically here in Minnehaha County and other counties in the state. And they want to incorporate that aggressive brand of immigration enforcement into local law enforcement. And my objection to that is that their track record in court has been completely obnoxious, and everything they do just loses and fails. And so we would be doing ourselves a disservice to have that type of training included in our law enforcement curriculum.
Exactly. That'd be a blatant waste of resources, time, money, and what? Just to train them to do things that get struck down in the court?
Exactly. Exactly. Anything else you'd like to share?
Get out there, go to your rallies, protest. It's the only way they'll see us, hear us, and know that we're fighting for them. Or against them, you know.
Well said. All right, sir, so what brings you out here today?
Well, a couple of things. I'm a veteran, and I feel strongly that our veterans are being shortchanged in this whole Doge thing. And the second thing is the total lack of respect for our rule of law. Our judges are being insulted and disrespected, and our laws are being ignored.
Yep.
In fact, the administration is supposed to execute the laws that Congress makes. But we see this administration making laws, and Congress does nothing to so I'm really disappointed, and in fact our whole constitutional structure is falling apart.
Yeah, it really does feel like the legal system is basically atrophied. It's, you know.
Well, the problem is that the legal system has no power to enforce itself. They don't have FBI or some agency that can enforce their rules, and so if a president chooses to say screw you, they can do that. He can get away with it, and that's wrong in this country. We need a strong judicial system to make sure that there's fairness in it. And without that, it's really in trouble.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, my biggest fear is the shipping people off to foreign prisons and just no recourse to get people back.
It's amazing, but again, they do it anyway.
Yeah.
Even though our Fourth Amendment says you can't do certain procedure without a good reason, and do that with a judge, but they're here just do it, and you can get away with it because the courts can say no, but they can't reverse it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so what brings you out here today?
Well, I knew this was happening. Things are just so not right. There's nothing going right. I've realized I want the government we had on January 19th. I want an EPA, an FAA, an FDA. I want national parks, a Department of Ed, medical research, all of that. I'm concerned about real criminals being pardoned and then non-criminals rounded up and deported and rounded up by people who appear to be mass felons. That really concerns me.
Yeah.
And we have no world standing at all. I'm concerned about that. It's in a nutshell.
Yeah. It does feel like we've kind of been isolated, just kind of spinning around on our own here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have no allies.
Yeah.
And the people we met with in the Middle East are not our allies.
Right.
And they're laughing at us too.
Yeah. Well said. Okay. So why are you here today?
I'm protesting the big, better, dastardly bill.
I see. And what can you tell us about the food stamps and the SNAP program and?
I worked for the state for nearly 18 years, specifically in the food stamps Medicaid TANF department, and I know there is fraud that goes through those departments, but not near to the extent that they are picturing it to be. Yes, it does need reform, but not in the manner that they're doing it in. And to cut and take food stamps out of children's mouths, and the Meals on Wheels program, and for the Medicaid, it affects the closures possibility of nursing homes and medical care for senior citizens, and it's just one category of individuals that are going to be affected, and they're just doing it in a blanket way, instead of really going in and finding out from the people that work in the departments and work with the programs as to what is needed or not needed in the way of reform.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the best thing the government can do is just help people, and when they start cutting the help, you know, you just wonder what the hell is going on.
Yeah, it's really bad. Perfect example. Perfect example.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so what brings you out here today?
This is about my fifth protest. I'm here because what's going on in this country scares the hell out of me. I have grandchildren, and I want to do whatever I can to save this country.
Yeah, fair enough. And how do you feel about the attacks on the schools, the colleges, and revoking student visas?
It's
People that-
unbelievable. Why are our laws not being protected? None of this should be happening. I don't understand why in Washington none of our laws matter. The Supreme Court doesn't matter. And that's what I find frightening.
Yeah, it's like they're hurting the most innocent people they can find, most vulnerable people.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We're living in a lawless country, and
Yeah.
it's disturbing, very disturbing.
I agree.
And my shirt says it all.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And so what brings you out here today?
Well, my first concern is our Constitution. I think we need to save our Constitution, and I think all of our civil liberties and civil rights are being eroded on a daily basis. So that's why I'm here, for other people who are getting taken advantage of by the system, and our Constitution is getting eroded.
Yeah. Do you find it ironic or frustrating that the lead up to Trump, you had the whole MAGA crowd was saying, you know, Constitution, Constitution, rah, rah, rah. And then they get power, and then they just like, what Constitution? They throw it out the window.
Right. Trump can do whatever he wants to. I heard that they're trying to pass a bill in which they can arrest anybody for anything at any time. They don't need warrants. And that is something that they're trying to pass through. And it's like, that's not American.
Nope. And it will hurt them just as much as it hurts everybody else. So, yep. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So tell us about your sign here.
Well, this was at the last protest I was at, and you heard it, you know, it's the economy stupid. I thought, you know, that just insults people, right? Because, I mean, we all care about our children, we all care about our nation, and we all care about the future, right? And the thing is, there's no economy without a climate where we can all survive. Now, if you look at, you know, the paleoclimatology, or if you look at climatologists, oceanographers, look at the information from NOAA, NASA, you know, all these different sources from the IPCC and the IPCC AR6 report, the 7's going to be coming out soon from the United Nations. All these scientists, all this information, this is the #1 issue. Whether people realize it or not, climate is the #1 issue. Just this week they come out with a 50% chance that we may hit 2 degrees Celsius by the year 2030. Even at 1.5, scientists are saying that over 2 billion people on this planet will perish because of the climate situation. So it gets kind of exponentially worse as the temperature rises. And so we need to address this right now. And the #1 thing we need to do is get off of fossil fuels. And the best way to do that is to elect the right people and start listening to, you know, different, well, progressive information, like, you know, AM 950. You know, AM 950, radio.com. Now, there's also your NPR, PBS, you know, progressivevoices.com, and there's a lot of other information, you know, where you can it kind of leans that way politically. But from like Tom Hartman and different people like that, which you'll hear on these radio stations, you can dig a little deeper into like Substack, and you can also get tied into networks of oceanographers and climatologists, people that are peer-reviewed from the IPCC, and listen to their perspectives. And you will find that, you know, some are more optimistic, some are more pessimistic, and the truth is somewhere in between. And I tell you right now, that in-between part is getting really scary. So we have to address this issue right now and tell as many people as possible about, you know, getting their information from somewhere else other than like Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro and these idiots that are misleading the populace.
Well, they're not really meteorologists either. I think my most pressing concern with regards to climate right now would be the firing of NOAA staffers and National Weather Service meteorologists. We've had lots of tornadoes and floods in the Midwest that have gone unaddressed, and there's been no FEMA response either. So, yeah.
Spot on. That's exactly right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.